All right, so let's talk about importing files into Stage. The first thing you want to do is get some data into Stage. So let's talk about how we do that. Now, Stage is meant to be really simple. Again, you just click on here and say Open Model. And what it's going to do is it's going to list all the supported file types. Now, there's a lot in here that we kind of support that will bring in something, but really the only ones that really bring in a lot, or like all the data that you need, is FBX, OBJ, GLTF, and GLB, and Datasmith. Okay, so any of those file types will import with all their properties and everything. The only caveat is it won't import any animation data. So it's just going to be importing the mesh and the materials at this point. All of that other stuff is coming soon in a later version of Stage. But as for right now, what we'll do is we'll just pick one of these GLB files to open up. Now this is a pretty big file. You saw it's about 200 megabytes, 250 megabytes. But this is a GLB that was created in Modo and then Substance Painter. So all the materials were put together in Substance Painter. It was all set up where the materials sections were correct and everything, and you'll notice it came right here. I'm just going to click on the model and hit F to frame it. And you'll notice now I can just click and drag and I can see that shoe here. Now all of those PBR materials are all set up ahead of time and brought into Stage. That's not to say that you can't create them in Stage, but what you really want to do for Stage right now is you want to set up your material groups and your materials inside of your authoring package and then send them over. Now we'll talk about material libraries and material editing and stuff in a little bit, but just so you know, that's the key with bringing it in. So if I click on my object here and then I come over here to scene content, you'll notice that I now have it listed here in my scene content as that model. Now I can hide it, I can lock it, which means I can't grab or do anything to it. I can also frame it. So let's say it's off screen and I want to grab it. I can grab it there and hit frame object and it will just frame that for me. I can also duplicate it. So if I want to create another shoe, I can just hit duplicate. It's going to re-import another instance of that. And then I'm going to be able to manipulate that. So now I can grab and drag this one and I put the second one right here. So now I've got two of those shoes right here. And so all of that is I can really quickly and easily manipulate the objects. Now I can also delete here. So if I click on this one and then I go delete, or let's click this one and say delete, then I only have the one left. Okay, so that's kind of how you import objects. That's how you show them, hide them. You can manipulate them with the manipulator. And so right here, if you look, I've got my manipulator. That's where the pivot of the object is in the authoring program. So I can translate, rotate, scale, all that kind of stuff right here. And then if I want to change the transforms, I can also do it in the properties panel. So if I click over here in translation, I can click X. Now these are really sensitive, so they go really fast. Y, Z. I can reset them just by clicking on the little arrows here. I can change rotations. But I can also do things like scale, where I'm scaling it uniformly. I can hit reset at any time just to reset it, or if I want to pivot this from the center, I can switch to Smart Origin. And when I click on that, what it's going to do is it's going to reset the transforms and put the manipulator right in the middle of that bounding box of that shoe. Now this means that I can now rotate based on the center point of that shoe or that object instead of on the heel. And so Smart Origin helps a lot to just kind of grab that pivot, put it right in the middle of the object, and be able to rotate it. So that way, when I do like a rotation on the Z, it looks like this instead of, let me undo that, this, like this. So it really helps to be able to do animations and things like that. So very quickly and easily you can manipulate it, you can set it up, and that's really how you import objects and work with them inside of Stage.